This channel uncovers stories whispered in the dark corners of the internet, mysteries that refuse to stay buried. Tonight's tale follows a series of strange events surrounding a forgotten village and a voice that should never have been heard. Settle in, dim the lights, and let the shadows pull you closer. What you're about to hear isn't just a story, it's a warning.
I first stumbled upon the village while following a dirt road that wasn't on my map. The trees bent inward like they wanted to hide whatever lay ahead. My phone lost all signal, and even the breeze felt muted. When I stepped past the crooked sign reading Hollowway, the air grew colder, as if something unseen had noticed me arrive. The houses were abandoned, but not decayed, like everyone left in a rush. Dishes sat on tables, doors hung open, and lights flickered, though no power lines remained. I walked toward the center, drawn by a distant whisper. It wasn't quite a voice, more like a breath forming words too soft to understand. Yet somehow it felt directed at me.
A well stood in the village square, sealed with heavy boards. Strange symbols were carved into them, uneven and deep. When I touched one, a burning chill pulsed through my hand. The whisper grew louder, circling me. I stumbled back, heart pounding, certain I was no longer alone. Something beneath the well was awake and hungry. I tried leaving, but every path twisted back to the square. No matter how far I walked, the well returned to view, as if the village rearranged itself. Shadows fell wrong, bending away from the sun. Then the whisper shaped itself into a single word: listen. The command rattled inside my skull, impossible to ignore.
The boards over the well creaked without wind. Dust rose from the cracks like breath. I knew I shouldn't approach, yet my feet moved anyway. When my fingers brushed the wood, images invaded my mind. Faces screaming, hands reaching upward, swallowed by darkness. They weren't memories. They were warnings from those who came before me.
A sudden thud echoed from below, then another. Something was climbing. I backed away, but the whisper soothed me, coaxing me closer. "Set me free," it murmured. The boards trembled, nails creaked, my pulse hammered in my ears as I realized whoever sealed the well wasn't trying to protect it. They were protecting us. Night fell unnaturally fast, snuffing out the remaining light. Shapes moved between the houses, watching with hollow patience. The whisper shifted, becoming a chorus. "Join us," it breathed. My vision blurred, and I collapsed to my knees. The ground felt warm, pulsing like a heartbeat, not the earth's, something deeper. When I opened my eyes, I was inside one of the houses. Someone, or something, had carried me. Candles circled the room, their flames bending inward. On the floor lay a torn map, marking Hollowway with a red smear. Beside it sat a journal, pages warped with moisture. On the first one, a single sentence: "Do not answer the voice."
The journal belonged to a traveler like me. His entries detailed the same whispers, the same shifting paths. He described how the voice mimicked loved ones, pleading for release, but freeing it would doom anyone who heard its call. His final entry ended abruptly with, "It knows my name now. I can't resist much longer."
A window shattered behind me. The whisper grew sharp, its tone desperate. "Help me," it cried. This time, In my mother's voice. I froze. She'd passed years ago, yet the sound was perfect. My chest tightened. Something outside scraped along the wall, inching toward the door. The candles flickered wildly, their flames shrinking as if suffocating.
Footsteps approached, deliberate and heavy. I hid behind a fallen bookshelf, gripping the journal like a shield. The door creaked open, revealing a silhouette wrong in every way. Too tall, joints bending the opposite direction. It sniffed the air, searching. The whisper echoed through it, as though it were only a vessel.
The creature stepped deeper into the room, its limbs cracking like dry branches. The whisper poured from its mouth, forming my name. Panic surged through me. I crawled toward the back door, careful not to make a sound. But a loose floorboard groaned beneath me. The creature's head snapped toward the noise.
I sprinted outside, the creature's shriek ripping through the night. Shadows lunged toward me, stretching like claws. The village twisted again, streets shifting, buildings warping. The well remained at the center, glowing faintly now. The whisper roared, commanding me to return. Every step felt harder, like wading through invisible mud.
The moon dimmed, as if being swallowed. I ducked into an alley, pressing myself against the cold wall. The creature stalked past, its spine scraping stone. From above, dozens of eyes opened in the darkness, blinking in unison. The whisper softened, becoming soothing once more. "Let go," it coaxed. "You're almost home."
I stumbled upon an underground passage hidden beneath a collapsed shed. A rusted ladder led downward. With the creature close behind, I climbed without thinking. The passage was lined with rune-covered stones. A faint glow pulsed ahead. For the first time since arriving, I felt the whisper weaken, unable to reach this far. At the end of the passage lay an ancient chamber. A massive stone slab depicted figures sealing the well, their faces carved with terror. In the center sat a pedestal holding a cracked iron amulet. The journal mentioned an artifact meant to bind the voice. If I could repair it, maybe I could escape Hollowway alive. The moment I touched the amulet, the chamber trembled. Dust rained down as the whisper clawed its way back into my mind. "Give it to me," it begged. I clutched the relic tighter. It pulsed faintly, as if responding. The runes along the walls glowed, illuminating a hidden inscription. "Strength grows in silence. Do not speak."
The creature forced its way into the chamber, screeching in fury. Its form twisted, unraveling into threads of shadow. The whisper shrieked through it, louder than ever. I held the amulet aloft, and the glow surged. The creature recoiled, its body blistering under the light. But the amulet cracked further, threatening to shatter. A beam of light shot from the runes, enveloping the amulet and repairing it. The whisper lost its hold for a moment, flickering like a dying signal. Seizing the chance, I placed the amulet into the pedestal. The chamber roared, runes blazing. The voice screamed as if being torn apart, its presence stretching thin. The creature lunged, desperate to stop me. I dodged, grabbing a fallen stone shard. With all my strength, I struck the creature's head, buying precious seconds. The pedestal's energy grew brighter until the entire chamber vibrated. The whisper's final plea echoed, "Don't leave me alone again." But I stood firm. The chamber erupted in blinding light. When it faded, the creature was gone, reduced to dust. The whisper was silent, completely, unnervingly silent. The amulet's glow softened, sealing itself with a final pulse.
I felt the air grow lighter, as if a weight had lifted from the entire village.
I climbed back to the village square. Dawn had returned, painting Hollowway in soft gold. The houses looked older now, truly abandoned, no longer frozen in time. The paths no longer twisted. The well remained sealed, but the symbols had faded. It felt like the village had finally exhaled after years of holding its breath. As I approached the edge of Holloway, my phone buzzed for the first time since arriving. Dozens of missed calls. I stepped onto the main road, feeling the world normalize around me. But something tugged at my mind. A faint hum, almost like a heartbeat. Quiet, but undeniably there.
I checked the journal one last time. A loose page slipped out. A drawing of the amulet cracked again, with a warning beneath, "The voice sleeps but dreams." A chill crept up my spine. If the voice wasn't gone, only dormant, then the cycle could start again. Maybe in days, maybe in centuries.
As I drove away, the forest thinned, but my rearview mirror flickered. For a split second, I saw the village behind me, not distant, but impossibly close, like it was following. I blanked and it vanished. The hum in my mind grew stronger, pulsing with each heartbeat. The voice wasn't done with me.
That night, in my apartment miles away, I heard a faint tapping from inside the walls. At first, I dismissed it as pipes. But then came the whisper, soft, cautious. "You left too soon." My breath froze. The amulet was supposed to contain it, yet the sound crawled through my thoughts, familiar and hungry. I searched my bag in panic. Buried beneath clothes lay a small stone fragment, one from the chamber, still glowing faintly. Somehow it must have carried a trace of the voice. As I held it, the whisper intensified. "Let me in," it urged. My lights flickered. Shadows lengthened across the floor, moving on their own. I threw the fragment into the sink and turned on the faucet. Steam rose, obscuring everything. The whisper thrashed inside my skull, furious. The fragment cracked, splitting with a sharp snap. The shadows froze, then slowly retreated. The air felt lighter. I thought I had finally silenced it. But when I checked the mirror, a second reflection lingered behind mine. Eyes dark, expression hollow. It smiled, whispering without sound. My reflection blinked a moment later than I did. The voice hadn't been trapped in the fragment. It had already moved on, into me. Now the whisper speaks constantly, guiding, coaxing. At times it feels like my own thoughts. At times it feels like someone else wearing my mind like a mask. I don't know how long I can resist. If you ever hear a village calling your name, even from far away, don't follow it. Don't make my mistake.
If you enjoyed this dark journey into Holloway, consider subscribing for more stories pulled from the shadows. Every day we explore mysteries that linger just beyond the edge of understanding. Leave a comment if you want a sequel, or if you've heard whispers of your own. Until next time, keep your lights on and don't answer the voice.